I love snacks. Now, I'm a snacker. I'm not afraid to admit it. I love snacks so much, almost a little too much sometimes, to where there are times when I overindulge just a little bit. And as a gym rat, somebody who's was on a cut for a while, trying to stay in a calorie deficit, trying to keep my macros in check, this can be a problem. And I've always been this way since I was a kid. I would always munch on everything we had in our snack drawer. And luckily for me, my mom would keep that thing filled to the brim, in fact. Even to this day, every time I go back home, there's always tons of snacks to eat, which is great. Now, as an adult, that's a problem because now I have to pay for it. And not just with my wallet, but again with my health. I'm trying to stay healthy, trying to keep my protein and my carbs and everything else to a degree in a range. And so snacks nowadays are a bit less frequent for me. I try to keep my snacks into things I've never tried before. And so I decided, you know what? Now that I can pay for my own snacks, I get to decide what snacks, are in my drawer. Unlike when I was a kid, not that I'm complaining. Thank you, Mom. Those snacks were great. But now I get to decide what snacks I eat. And so I want to create the ultimate snack tier list. And so every single week, I'm going to try 3 or 4 different snacks, rate them on a scale of 3 different things. We're going to obviously rate them on taste, which is one of the most important things, let's be honest. We're going to rate them on macros. We're talking carbs, we're talking protein, we're talking fat. And we're going to rate them on price. Because, let's be real, some of these snacks, not worth what we're having to pay for them. And after we get a rating 1 out of 10 for each of those things, I'll also throw them on a tier list. You'll see the tier list here. It's probably going to be S tier, A tier, B, C, D, and F. Why not? Let's just have the entire sort of regular tier list. And I'll put them on the tier list as well as have them have their own little rating. And we'll see. We'll see where all these snacks sort of get put. I mean, I have a lot of snacks. I don't think you understand. A lot of snacks. And so maybe in, a year or so, we'll see how many snacks we can put on this tier list. But today, I just picked out a bunch of different snacks. Random ones from the store that I saw that looked kind of good. And then also some common ones that I eat sort of daily just to start off. We'll see how full this list gets. This will be helpful because I also find myself going to the store and not realizing that I have had something, or not remembering what I liked or the snacks that I don't like. And then all of a sudden, buying the same things and being like, oh yeah, I've had this before and I didn't like it. Or, oh yeah, I've had this before and I did like it. When I try to stick to things that I haven't had. But obviously that's all going out the window now that we're doing this video. So let's start, shall we? So first up, we have David protein bars. This is the blueberry pie flavor. And these are one of my go-tos. That's why they're going to be the first thing we try here. I love these things. They are not only delicious, but the macros are insane. With macros, we're talking 12 grams of carbs, which crazy. 150 calories, 28 grams of protein, and only 2 grams of total fat, with 0 sugar. 7 sugared alcohols, but we'll talk about that. I heard they got in some controversy for trying to patent something. I don't know a lot about that, but let's give it a taste here. Oh yeah. Yeah, those are good. Nothing crazy when it comes to taste. I think taste-wise, especially for a protein bar, these are just good enough. It's mostly the macros that I think put these over the top. So for taste, I'm gonna give these a 7. You know, they taste just good enough for me at least. Macros, definitely a 10. 28 grams of protein, 150 calories. Come on. Come on. And price, they are pricey. For a normal 12 pack, that's gonna run you $39.99, $40. And for a single one, I've seen these range in between bare minimum $3 to $5, so they're not cheap. So for price, I'm gonna have to give them a 5. And what that puts them at a 23 out of 30, so pretty respectable score. I am going to put these purely because of the macros, honestly. You know, you don't find a lot of great tasting protein bars with such good macros. In fact, I think these are the best ones. I'm going to put them in A tier. And that could change. Who knows? Any of these snacks can be moved up and down based off of if I try something later that I'm like, you know what? This trumps David. David could go down. David could go up to us. Who knows? But as of now, they're A tier. Next up, let's switch it up. We're kind of going protein heavy again because I'm a gym guy, but I promise we'll switch it up. We'll get some more junk food in here. Don't worry. Lenny and Larry's Complete Creams. I saw these at the store today, and I've been craving just some golden Oreos, and I was like, this is the next best thing. I don't know why I should have just probably bought golden Oreos, but we'll try these healthy ones and see how they do. I haven't had the best experience with Lenny and Larry's, and so we're gonna find out how good these actually are. Let's see. Try one here. They look cool. Let's see. Texture's a bit weird. Okay. Wow. That texture is strange. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Taste-wise, I'm gonna give those a 5. Very mid. 5 is gonna be the middest of mid. Macros, I mean, for cookies, we're talking 130 grams per 2 cookies. 6 grams of fat, 5 grams of protein, 7 total sugars, 14 grams of carbs. It's okay macro-wise too, if you have like that sugar craving and you don't want to go in on golden Oreos. But if I'm being honest, I think I'd rather just have golden Oreos than these, because calorie-wise and sugar-wise, it's probably not that dissimilar. Could be wrong. Price-wise, these come in around $2 to between $2 and $3, depending on where you buy them from. Price, give it a 7, I guess. And macro-wise, again, you're still getting 7 grams of sugar. I think if you want these for the protein, I guess. But macro-wise, I'll give these also like a 6. So what is that? 12, 17 out of 30 between its 3 scores. I'm gonna have to put those in D tier. I don't think I'd ever buy those again. Lenny and Larry, what are you guys doing? A lot of your snacks? I don't know. But you know what? Let's just finish off the protein bars for today. And we got the Quest Crispy Cookies and Cream. Now these are my second go-to. I love these things. When I first started getting into working out a few years ago, these were the things that I would eat. They weren't the first, but they were like the second one where I was like, these are fantastic. Macro wise, 150 calories, so same as the David's, which is kind of the range I look for. 6 grams of fat, 23 grams of carbs, again, most of that fiber, 18 grams of protein, so 10 less grams of protein. And that just goes to show how crazy the macros are on those David bars. Let's go ahead and try these out. A little ASMR for you guys. Wow. Now, in terms of taste, he's knocked it out of the park. It's not like the greatest thing I've ever tasted. But man. Taste-wise, I think those definitely beat the David's. I'm going to give them 8.5 for taste. I think I got to reserve 9 and 10s for the really good tasting stuff. Macro-wise, I think also probably an 8. Again, for a protein bar, for being this tasty, that's pretty damn good. Price-wise, again, these are on the more expensive side, hence why the macros are so good. This little 4-pack here cost you 10 to 11 bucks. These were $10.99 today, which, you know, brings out the average protein bar to about 2 something, almost $3 a bar, which it's expensive. Well, I guess protein bars kind of sit in that range anyway, but 4 protein bars for almost 12 bucks. It's a lot. I'm gonna put those also in A tier. I might do my own separate protein bar tier list, just because there's so many protein bars that they deserve their own tier list. I might do that for other snacks as well, but in terms of the entire scope of snacks, I think both of those go in A. They might go down. There's just so many snacks, but just they're healthy. They're healthy. Come on, for how good they are. Let's continue on this train. Second to last snack for the day. We have Fiber One. Now, Fiber One has 3 different flavors of these. Cinnamon coffee cake. They have like a double chocolate brownie and then a chocolate chip. And they all sit around the same range for me. These Fiber One ones are also one of my go-tos for just snacking, just because of how low-cal they are. I can't wait to be off this cut so I can eat some higher cal things. Perfect timing for this series. But these during my cut, wow, just incredible. 70 calories, folks. 70 calories. Let's give it a little bite. Wow. It's delicious. Full of fiber too. They have only 3 grams of fat, 2 grams of protein, and only 2 grams of sugar. In terms of carbs, we're talking 17 grams with 7 grams of fiber. So net carbs, do your math. You know, I don't want to do the math. Well, fantastic. Taste-wise, it's an 8. Macro-wise, again, same level as like the David's. And the Quest for like a small snack like that, 8.5. And for price-wise, you can get these things pretty cheap, especially if you get the bigger packs. Right now they had a deal for $6.99 for a 12-pack. So pretty damn good for the price if you're looking to snack on something super low-cal. For price, I'm going to give these a 9. And that brings us to around a 25, which is pretty damn good for a snack. Again, I'm going to put these in A tier. I love these things. When it comes to different flavors of things too, this is a good time to mention this. I've had like all the flavors of David's, and same with these Quest ones and the Fiber One ones. So for anything with multiple flavors, unless the flavor is that much worse or that much better, I'm just going to stick at least with these two. Like David, all the flavors kind of sit in that same range as this blueberry one. There's like some that are a little bit worse, the chocolate chip one being one that's a little bit better. So I'm talking David bars as a whole is gonna stick, into that 1A range. So I'm not gonna try a different flavor of those, or the Quest bars too. Those all sit in that same range. Same with Fiber One. But if there are certain snacks, like let's say Doritos, right? I think I would separate Cool Ranch and like nacho cheese Doritos and put them in separate tiers and rate them on their own. So there will be some snacks that have different, flavors and different tiers, different scores. And there'll be other snacks that, like these David bars, that all of their flavors are going to be encompassed in one. So I hope that makes sense. Lastly, we have these things. Granola, cookie granola, purely Elizabeth. I have been wanting to try this since I saw it a few days ago, and so I was like, you know what? I've never had this. Let's try it out now and see how it is. I'm not a huge granola guy, but recently, with having such a low-cal diet, and also recently doing my 50K, check that video out, I got on the granola grind. And I tried a bunch of different brands. So I'm going to try this one. This is going to be like the last sort of granola brand that I haven't tried. And maybe those other brands will get on this series eventually, but we'll see. 6 grams of fat, total carbs 18 grams, 3 grams of protein, 130 calories per 30 grams, 1/3 a cup, 10 servings a bag, which is not a lot if you know serving sizes. So let's try it out. Not really tasting the cookie aspect of this. One thing you do taste, which you can see on the front here, is the coconut. Baked in coconut oil. That's like one of the heaviest tastes in this, which I'm not sure how I feel about. I'm a cookie guy. You're definitely going to see cookies on here eventually. Macro-wise, these are okay. The thing with granola that I hate is they're really high on sugars. So this one being 6 grams of sugar per 30 grams. So we're talking, most cases you're probably having at least 2 servings. 12 grams of sugar ain't bad. 6 grams of protein. Macro-wise, I'm going to put this specific granola at a 7. Taste-wise, pretty disappointed, honestly. It's not bad. I wouldn't say it's mid, so I'm going to put it at a 6. And price-wise, a little pricey as well. This sits around in between $7 and $9, depending on where you buy it from. Once again, I think I paid $7.69 before tax at King Soopers for these. So price-wise, I'm gonna put it at a 6, I think, bringing us to 20 for those. On the tier list, I am going to put those. Very disappointed, man. Pretty mid taste. Put it at B tier, I think. Yeah, it's not quite as, you know what, C tier. C tier. Lenny and Larry's D tier. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, that concludes all the snacks I have for you today, but like I said, I'm gonna try to do this weekly. Just get a bunch of snacks. Could be any assortment of them. I just decided to do these 5 today, but who knows, maybe there's a day I do 10, 20. But if there's any other snacks you recommend or want me to try out and put on this tier list, let's see how far we could build this thing. I think I won't be satisfied until I've tried like at least 100 different snacks and put them on this tier list. I wish I would have started this earlier, but it'll be nice to have this nice archive of my snack ratings, so eventually in the future I know exactly what my tastes were like at this time in my life. And if somebody asks what my favorite snacks are, I can just show them this video But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later.